Hello, welcome back to Atlas Within. I'm Andres. Today we're going to be talking about motivation. So it's just for reference purposes, day 47, the 12th of July. So past the halfway point, yay! So I thought motivation would be a good topic to cover, to see or to explain, I guess, what I've been going through to kind of keep me going. Because hey, it's been over a month and a half at this point, and I'm still at it. And I just thought I'd want to share what I've been doing to try and stay on track, to try and just make sure that I don't derail, that I don't have bad days and decide that, I'm going to throw in the towel. All that stuff that tends to happen to anyone undertaking any type of new goal, new challenge, task, whatever it might be. So the first thing I wanted to mention was I have been consciously trying to not read, because I'm not too much of a person that reads. I do read articles, but I always think about books because books are great. They have a lot of useful information. However, I'm not someone to read books either. So what I do is I have an app called Blinkist. It basically summarizes books out there in the world, all kinds of books, non-fiction books. And I just pick a couple of them, listen to them. They take about 15 to 20 minutes to listen to, but they've been keeping me on track because they have motivational learning points or tips that you can follow, things to kind of just tweak your mindset when it comes to these things. There's a book I listened to called Eat the Frog, which talks about doing the hard tasks first, not leaving them to the last point on your list, the last key point, because what happens is if you do all the easy tasks or if you do all the simple tasks first, by the time you get to the last task, you are spent, you are tired, you don't have the energy, and you probably just put it off to the next day and so on, and it's just a vicious cycle. So that was quite a good book, and I thought that was very helpful when it comes to having those days where I just don't feel like doing exercises or doing editing or filming and whatnot. But I remember that, I remember the goal, the reason for it, but then I think that, let me get out of the way now, that I'm not overthinking it, that I might have the energy. So usually I try and do this sometimes in the early mornings. If it's possible, do the exercise in the early mornings or do the editing or even filming, whatever's due or whatever's like on my list to do, I try and get this done. So that's just one example, but there are many other books obviously to read. I read a lot about stoicism, just staying the path, being resilient to many things that happen, which I think is quite important, and will feed into one of the points later on. But yeah, just to round it up, actively seeking other people, whether it's via text, whether it's via videos, audio, even face to face, if you know people that have done things, accomplished things, just getting the information, maybe understanding what they did, how they overcame things, getting those tips will keep you going. Even if you don't necessarily apply them to what you're doing, they'll give you good insight as to what you can follow, what will help you along the way. But then not only that, it will keep you incentivized, it will keep that mind flowing, it will keep you in the zone to say, you know what, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to do it maybe this way, I'm going to do this other thing, whatever it might be. It's just one of those things that you actively have to do it. Motivation, unfortunately, will come to you by itself. There's a borderline to whether or not this is motivation or discipline. I'm not entirely sure it is, because I do feel motivated when I listen to these books or I potentially watch a video, if that's what happens. But you have to be disciplined to do it. So, interesting balance there. I'm not entirely sure where it sits, but the point is, whatever you're doing, if you feel you're lacking the energy, the mindset to do anything, just, like I said, seek out information, seek out other people who have done it, learn from them, or at least just follow their journey for a period, and that will reignite fuel to keep you going. So that's the first tip, I would say, in terms of motivation, just to keep you going. Another thing that's very useful is if you're doing something for a particular reason, like an event specifically. So I've been doing a bit of research. I've been watching quite a few videos on YouTube myself, and Hyrox event has been popping up more often than not. I am very intrigued by it. It definitely is an event that requires you to be at a certain level of fitness. Now, I have seen certain people do it that aren't in the best shape. They do it, but I wouldn't consider it to be a worthwhile attempt, if that makes sense. So for me personally, so just to give you, if you don't know what, an idea of what Hyrox is, it's basically an event where you have to run around a course, 1 kilometer run. You do that 8 times, so you do 8 kilometers in total, but you do 1 kilometer, and then you do a type of resistance training session. So the first one, I believe, is rowing. So you have to row for like, I think 100 meters. You do that. You run again for 1 kilometer. Then you do, I think maybe it's lunges, I think. You have to do weighted lunges at some point. So you do that for like another 100 meters, do a run. And you do essentially 8 different exercises, but they're very high intensity. And the goal is to do it as quickly as possible. So for me, that's motivating because it means I need to get to, ideally I want to get to a certain level of fitness where I can run for 8 kilometers. I can definitely run 5 kilometers straight, but I'm not sure if I can run 5 kilometers straight and intertwine that with doing exercises. So yeah, at the moment I'm training as I am, but it's one of those things that in the future I'd like to do. So maybe after this 90 days I'll revisit, see how I'm feeling, see if I want to do more specific training for this particular one, because I'd like to do it. And that's something I'd like to do, yeah, definitely in the future. It's also something you can do with a friend. So you can have a partner where you take turns doing the events. The running is joint, so you do have to run at the same time, but then the events you can do half and half kind of thing. So that's also really enticing, really motivating for me to get into shape, but then also see if I can get someone else to do it with me and get them into shape. So events, something that you want to get fit for, you want to get in shape for, definitely a good thing to have, for sure. Another thing that I've seen that I'd want to try at some point is something called the Murph Challenge. Now, it's a workout of the day, I believe. That's how they refer to it in CrossFit. So CrossFit has many different workouts, and they have one called Murph. The reason I like this is because it's very intense. It's once again, it's for time. See how fast you can do it. For me, I don't think I'd be able to do it. It would take me like probably a week to do this challenge. You're meant to do this in, I don't know, maybe an hour, 2 hours, or if you're fit, I'm not entirely sure. But just to give you a very quick high level overview of it, it's a 1 mile run followed by 100 pull-ups, followed by 200 push-ups, followed by 300 squats, and then a mile run again. And the mile run is meant to be with a weighted vest. I think it's like 20 kilo weighted vest or something like that. I have seen that you can do it broken down. So you do the mile run. You always have to do it in one go. I guess you can do it without a vest. So you can do that run. And then the pull-ups, push-ups, and squats, you can break it down to 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and 15 squats. And you do that for 20 sets. And then you finish with the mile run. That's my goal. That's what I want to do because, yeah, that just sounds fantastic. It sounds like a very good test of strength and endurance. So, yeah, definitely need to get into better shape because I think my push-ups, my squats, and definitely my pull-ups are nowhere near where they need to be able to complete those amounts of reps in a continuous fashion. So, yeah, challenges, things you want to do physically, will help kind of keep you on the path if you think about it, because obviously you want to get to a certain level to do certain things. You have to be a certain level to do certain things. So having a challenge that you want to complete is going to be very helpful. Funny enough, the challenge is, I guess, similar to events like the Hyrox, but the difference is the challenge I can do at home. I can do it anywhere I want as long as I have a pull-up bar. Whereas the Hyrox is specifically, I have to go somewhere, I have to train, and there'll be other people doing it. So that's why I wanted to keep those two separate. One's, like I said, in a specific place, and one is individual based. The last point, actually, I wanted to say, which breaks off into two, are life events. So why do I mention that? So life events, so this whole thing began because I'm now a father. Became a father 3 months ago at this point. I'm looking over there because he's sleeping right now. So my son's 3 months old, just over 3 months old, and I really wanted to get into shape, finally get into shape, because I think I let myself go, obviously, over the last 12 months, which is, once again, the 9 months my wife was pregnant, and then the 3 months since he was born. To be honest, I have started exercising for probably not 12 months, but you get the gist. Long time. I want to get back into shape. Recently, now that I'm trying to get back into shape, and obviously he's growing, I'm doing my exercises, I definitely need to take care of myself because I'm feeling the aches and pains. I'm not as young as I used to be. My back, every now and again, kicks up. So right now, I do feel it a bit twingy when I do certain movements, which is not good because, like, obviously, I want to be carrying him for years to come, right? Until he's a bit too big to carry. But the point is, he's going to get heavier. I've got to get stronger. I've got to get better. So the fact that I feel the aches and pains at the moment is not very good, but it's also very motivating because it's like, okay, I've got to fix that. I've got to really sort out my stuff. I've got to work towards getting the level of fitness I want, the healthy body that I want as well. So I really should kind of use that to steer my eating because my eating hasn't been the best. But point is, life event, he's triggered this off. He's also keeping me motivated from that perspective because it's a case of if I don't do it, I'm just going to get worse. Things are going to get harder. Like, it'd be sad one day, especially if he's still young, that one day I can't pick him up because my back's just not where it used to be. I'm just not strong enough. Whatever. That'd be very sad. I don't want that. So that's obviously keeping me on track. A second point to life events, as you may know, my dog passed away recently. Very sad moment, but it helped reiterate the reality that life is fleeting. Potentially what you don't do today, you'll regret tomorrow, right? Because you don't know. You don't know how long you're going to be on this plane of existence, shall we say. You don't know. So it really, was a reality check for me that I've just got to do what I want to do, which is this. I've got to try my best to achieve this goal. Because if I don't, time will still pass, right? Whether you do something or you don't, the time will go. You'll never get it back. So it's a case of choosing what do you want to do with your time. Do you want to let it just go? Or do you want to utilize it as best as possible to do the things you want to do? Now, if for you, life or time is about spending it with your family, being happy, relaxed, fantastic. That's what you want to do. Awesome. If you have goals, if you want things you want to achieve, then this is the time to do it. Even if you're busy, even if there's loads of things happening. So put it in perspective, obviously I'm working, back to work. There's a heat wave. I'm just chucking the heat wave at the moment in the UK is not helping the matters because you're just tired, hot, you don't want to do anything. But yeah, working in the office, commuting, looking after newborn, trying to exercise, trying to eat well, trying to make videos, trying to edit those videos, post them. There's a lot going on, and there's still other things that I would love to do. But I think right now my bucket is full, right? I'm just about able to do everything. But the point is, I'm trying to do it. I am tired. I have been tired the last few days. I'm tired right now. But it's fine. I'll just keep going. Obviously, if I get too tired or if I generally don't feel like I can do it, then I'll rest. You know what? If that's the case, then I've got to listen to my body because I can't push it. The idea is to make it healthier, not worse or off. So if it comes to that, I'll rest, take it easy. But until then, I'll keep going, right? And yeah, and this is all kind of motivated by the fact that, yeah, like I said, life is fleeting. You only get one chance at this, so I'm going to try my best to get it right, do the things I want to do, and yeah, and hopefully be better by the end of it. So those are all the points that I wanted to mention for this video, for the motivation side of things. If there's anything you want to mention, obviously feel free to leave in the comment sections. If there's something you use to motivate you, to keep you going, whether it's music, whether it's, like I said, reading, but maybe a different type of reading, maybe reading non-fiction, maybe maybe drawing, art, whatever it might be, do feel free to leave a comment below, because I'd love to hear, or rather read, what it is you are doing, because all these things, I will, like I said, I will take it in, and if I can add it to the way I approach things, I will definitely do it, because it helps. They're all tools in your toolbox that you can go into and mix and match as needed to just help you keep going. So yeah, that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully catch you on the next one. Have a good one. Bye.